There's your question, answer back. Good. Remember, wings level, balance on the main wheel. It's going to be you unless things get out of control. Pick up that wing. Good. Good. Now once you're near, nudge forward and stay close to the ground. Closer to the ground. Close to the ground. Good. Stay down low. You don't want to overclimb them. Stay down low. Good. You gotta remember, you gotta fly the airplane.
Right.
No matter what. Feeds come out, cameras fall off, the drink goes flying, you gotta continually fly the airplane.
200 feet.
Alright, good job. Good. Use your feet on those corrections. That was all hands. Gotta use your hands and feet together. Good job. Watch, you gotta go off to the right. Try to catch it before it happens or at the beginning, but bring it back down. We're way high. Bring it back down still. There we go. You want to keep it in that perfect position. It's going to take a lot of holding that forward pressure in and not letting the nose climb up on you.
Right.
You just did a verbal there. You see that?
Yeah.
You saw what was coming up, so you're ready to react ahead of time. Good. Hands and feet together. Make that desired result. Bring it back over. Don't let it climb up. You want to match his bank angle so that we stay right in tune with him. Wheels on the horizon. A little blue sky underneath the pillar. There, that's good. Now let him climb up. Stick with him. And we want to keep that rudder on that right side of that 47. Good. Let's clear and pop off. So look left. Good. Look right. Good. And release. Good. Stick the pedal. Get away from the end of that rope. Slow up. Throw on some trim. He's way out of the picture. Let's keep going right on around in a full 360. I think we're in it. And put a little right pedal in, little back left stick. Just about 45 miles an hour. There we go. Good. Keep going right on around. We're in the thermal. Again, massaging the turn with your feet a little bit to keep the bank angle the same. If the bank angle goes down real quick, you're going to lead with your foot to lift the wing. If the bank angle comes up and the wings get more level, hands and feet to put that back into the back. Put the bank angle back in. There, I felt stronger on this side of the circle. There it is. Good. So let's kind of steepen up right here. You want to try going left?
Yeah.
Let's look left. Stick and pedal. Push, push. Wait. Back to the center of back pressure. And if you think you're in a good thermal, right away you're going to go into cross control. So be a back right, stick and a little left pedal. A little less pedal. There we go. The object is keeping that yawn coming straight back at us. Keeping a constant airspeed, keeping a constant bank. Good. Again, looking out through the windscreen, you can use the yawn on the horizon. If you see that yawn get way above the horizon, you know in a second or two you're going to start to go down. If you see the yawn go way below the horizon, you know your airspeed's going to start to go way up. Wow, there it is. So you pulled the plug like 28 or so. So we're about 500 feet higher. Good, massage with your feet. And again, as you're going around, I want you to be mindful of looking out for other traffic. You're rotating. It's easy to see the whole spectrum. When you're going straight, you got to rotate your head. There we go. Right there felt pretty good. Good, good speed, good bank angle. Very good. Letting the glider do most of the work is a lot of the key to this, okay? You just got to set it up in the right air mass so it can work for you properly. Try to monitor the rotation where you're feeling the strongest surge. Now you got to watch, if you're varying your airspeed from 55 to 45, that's going to show up as a fake stick thermal. And also you're going to be giving yourself the wrong impression from what you're feeling in the seat of your pants. So that's where having a good constant airspeed control is going to let you really feel the air out for what it's worth. First is you yanking back on the stick and making your butt make a bigger imprint, and then pushing forward and your stomach coming up. Good, leading speed, good. That's going to keep the wings from stalling out.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go around a little bit more. We're going to kind of go towards that reservoir. I think we're falling out the back side of the wings. Go another 90 degrees or so. We're going to go towards the reservoir that's on top of the hill, towards those big shadows. Good, let's level out, right pedal, right stick. Try to make that leveling out process a nice, smooth, aerodynamically correct. Good. Yeah, I want to point right in this direction. See what happens next.
Powered flat off our right wing.
See how they sneak up on you?
Yeah.
Getting a little friendlier. A little friendlier. Let's keep going straight for a couple seconds here. We're kind of heading up underneath this big fat cloud in front of us. See where this cloud is?
Yeah.
Notice where we are kind of in the shadow of the cloud? Keep pressing forward. We're not going down, right? What was the question you were going to ask?
Oh no, I was just saying it seems like it's trying to throw us out of the thermal.
It's trying to throw us out. We're still actually going up as we're going along here. We're going to keep going along straight. Keep those wings level. Keep pointing in this direction. Remember, 0 is already there some lift because we got our sink rate of a couple hundred feet. Just a little bit more. We're going to go over towards the top of the lake here. We got 3,500 feet. You're 1,000 feet higher than when you just started, and we're more than high enough to get back to the airport. From here, if we were at 2,400 feet, then I would start worrying. Pick up a little speed. We're hitting a little sink, so let's get the nose down. Let's kind of push forward a little bit more towards the other side of the mountain. We'll give it till we get down to maybe 33 and see if we run into something. So put a little more speed in. The worse that gets, the more that should be. So if you see that thing at 6, 7, 8, think about your airspeed. 55, 65, 75, getting the hell out of that bad air. Oh, starting a little bit friendlier, I think. Again, we're varying our airspeed based on our air mass. Starting to get friendlier, so we begin to start to slow up. Don't forget to keep looking for your traffic as you're doing all this as well. Oh, look at that right wing one, wailing up, right?
Yeah.
So let's look right. Look good and clear. Stick and pedal, push, push. Go back over here to the right. Don't be, bashful about being a little aggressive to get into that up curve. It's over this way a little bit. maybe level out just for a second or two.
Oof. How far? Like left wingtip?
Alright, as long as there's nobody that's circling above us that established a direction, we can do whatever we want.
Okay. Right.
You want to go left?
Yeah.
Okay, look left, stick and pedal. Although going straight here seems to be pretty darn good.
Yeah, we're definitely hitting lift right now. Oh, let's see.
Alright, where did that baby go?
Oof.
It was just there. Oh, I think straighten out for a second. And now let's try to go to the right, because that didn't work out so good. So look right, stick and pedal, push that pedal, push that stick. Yeah, don't be afraid, then push it sideways. Make that turn happen. Thermals aren't normally this big. A lot of times they're pretty small, so you got to be on spot when you go to get into it. No, I thought we were going to run into it. Maybe it was a passing bubble and we just clipped it. Again, thermals come in all shapes, sizes, forms, features. Getting a little bit better. Level out here for a second. Left pedal, left stick. Good. Level out. Give it a few seconds. Try to see if one side or the other picks up. It's almost like going straight seems to be working out.
Yeah.
Oh, go straight for a couple seconds. It's not hurting anything. Alright, you're experimenting around and seeing what's working for that day's conditions. Alright, now it's starting to fall out, so we've got to make a decision. I'll let you make it. Make a nice, clean turn.
Alright, let's go 90 degrees left.
Okay, good. So pedal and stick, push. Good. Look at that yarn coming back. See how it's coming back? That's the goal the whole time. And then when you go to straighten out, get that ratio so that, yes. Much better, Cameron, much better. That's what we need to be doing. Again, if you're flying around with that yarn off to the side, you might as well put your hand on that spoiler handle and deploy the spoilers, because basically that's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Still in some sync. Feels like it's starting to transition. There, it's kicking in. So pick a side. Again, you're guessing. Just clear whichever way you're going to go. Right? Okay,
right.
good.
Okay.
Pedal, stick. Get that input in. Little clearer. You're going to find you might turn better to the left than to the right. Okay? And as I really hone in on it, I'm going to make you do turns to the side that you stink at.
Okay.
So that you get it just as good as you do going one way versus the other. You got to be proficient going left or right. There you go. Blairstown sounds good. There's that. Feel that little big circle. You heard the wings even give a little kicker. And you take about 2 seconds after, 3 seconds after. Now look at that needle go way up. There we go. Again, as you're going around and I'm talking, I'm still looking, scanning the airspace. There's that surge. About 2-3 seconds later, look at that needle, jumped up to 5. There's the edge of it. So you want to recalibrate your circle if you can, so that you're trying to optimize it. I'd rather do 5 turns at 500 feet a minute up instead of 10 turns at 250 or 20 turns at, 125. Oh, there's the surge. There we go. left stick. There we go. Just a little. Object is to get this right on like a little ballerina up here. Just kind of floating around, spinning like a little top, and getting sucked up in this core. There you go. Good. And then the side, the bank angle gets a little steep. Yep. Lead with your feet to get that direction.
Oof. Gotta pick up some speed.
What's that?
Gotta pick up some speed. It started to kind of like flutter a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Again, your stall is going to be approaching when you've got the nose high. And then how do you get the nose high? Well, you're going to have to stick back. And then it's going to get quiet, and then the controls are going to get mushy. All right, there's about 5 or 6 real good signs that a stall is going to happen. So you want to make sure that, you know, we're 4,000 feet over the field. We know we got plenty of recovery room, but if you're down lower or you got other people thermally with you want to be sure not to have a stall happen. And listening to your client.
Airport's right there.
Yeah. Let's level out. We're going to head down the valley here a little bit. We're still doing plenty.
They're hitting a lot of lifts right now.
Yeah, so just keep the airspeed slow and keep your head moving around, looking sure nobody's looking to take us out. Good. We'll get ready to sort out too by going down the valley here. Now again, as you start seeing that sink happen, what should this hand be doing? Should be lowering the nose? Yeah. Remember, unlike conventional flying, we're always varying our airspeed. Again, as I'm talking, I kind of do what I call my neck exercise. I try to look all the way behind me to the right. Slowly scan the sky, look all the way behind me. Look, you can see the glider's pretty much doing all the work. You've got the wings level. How do we know that? Well, I look at each wingtip. I see the same amount of exposure. Delaware Water Gap. Again, learning your locale. You know the airport's behind us. You know that that's the gap. The Portland Bridge over here. Okay, so you can start seeing and learning some of the local landmarks. We'll go down almost to the river and see what happens. Now when you get on the other side of the river, between, I don't know, just around 6,000 and above, there's traffic that comes from our right side to our left. There's an airway, so you got to be mindful. On the other side of the river, you know, anywhere once you start getting about 5,000 feet, there could be some potential problems with traffic going into the city.
Let's make a turn. We were just at like 500 feet per minute.
That's okay. Keep going straight for a little bit more. We're in some good air here.
Okay.
We got, you know, 4,000 feet over our airport elevation, and we're only 5 or 6 miles from our airport. Remember, we use 3 miles per 1,000. So, being that we're 6 miles, we'd have to be 2,000 feet. Plus 1,000 feet for the field elevation, or for the pattern of the field. For every 3 miles, you add your 1,000 for the field, plus your 1,000 for your travel. Yeah, keep going right on down to the river. Do a little less turn. I've been doing a lot of thermaling, so we'll do some straight flying.
Okay.
And it's easy. You can see we got a nice lift. It's almost easier than having the thermal. I don't see any jetliners in front of us, or to our right or left. When you get on the other side of the airport, Cameron, we start running into the Stillwater VOR traffic. And that traffic, business jets are 4,000 to 5,000 people. Guess what? That's what the height we're at right now. Alright, so we're down here to the walking bridge. There's a car bridge and a little walking bridge. Let's make a little turn one way or the other.
Let's go
left. Okay,
yeah.
so look left.
stick pedal.
Make that turn happen nice and clean. Remember, aerodynamically clean is important. As you see our airport from here.
Yeah. Right in front of us.
Good. Excellent. So we'll work our way back in that direction and see what we come up with. We know there's some good air out there. We just went through a whole bunch of it. And don't forget to vary your airspeed. We're in 400 or 500 down. Give yourself a little more airspeed. You can use your trim to help you. Like if I want to go somewhere, I'll put it all the way forward, and that helps get the stick going a little more in a forward position, which helps your airspeed go a little faster. And as it gets friendlier, we slow back up. If you slow up real quick, you're going to turn your vario into a fake vario, meaning you're going to generate what's called a stick thermal. You hear the air getting a little lively out there? Amazing, huh?
Yeah, really. We're pretty high up.
Why we're pointed in this direction, there's a couple of lakes way out in ahead. Get us up to 50 miles an hour and point at one of those lakes. And I would like a couple of those Dutch rolls. You remember the Dutch rolls?
Yeah.
So you just start by pushing your pedal and stick in one direction and waiting. Good, then back the other way. And the object, you get it to rock and roll a little bit, not these little wimpy things. We want it really to go back and forth. The object is to keep that nose fixed on that object in the distance. Good, wait. Now back the other way. A little more pedal authority. There you go. Now back the other way. Stick and pedal. Wait. Back the other way. Pedal and stick. That's getting better. Not wandering too much. I think that was an outside burst or something lifted that way.
Yeah.
This is a great coordination maneuver because it gets your hands and feet on the same page for the ratios that need to be applied for this particular glider. And I don't care whether it's a single seat, a double seat, high performance, low performance, it's something that you like to try to do in anything that you fly. Gas powered plane, no engine plane.
Kind of lets you know, like, the
hand to foot ratio for inputs, yeah.
Like the limits of the plane, how kind of far you can get it over.
But when you fly a single seat versus a two seat, the wing configuration is different, the rudders are different, so that ratio is going to be different. And the object is to get that ratio correct for the aircraft you're flying, so that you're optimizing the aerodynamics and are able to really, get the most out of it. Alright, now we're hitting down. Thanks for your help with those hookups before.
Yeah, no problem.
That's part of it is, knowing how to launch them. You got that as you hook up the toast adapter and see how that all works.
Yeah, that high performance glider was so nice.
Yeah. Well, I can get like 10 of these for one of those.
Yeah. Thing must cost like 100,000.
I think that's 150,000 right there. And he was thinking about getting some other tips for it, like 13-meter tips. He's got the wing tips that are 18 meters, which make it a little bit longer. And that's another $10,000 for like these two pieces of wings that aren't hardly anything.
Yeah. Oh, getting some good lift right now.
If you want to do a couple of turns, sure.
Alright, I'm pretty bad at right turns, so
let's go
we'll
to right. Look right, pedal, stick, wait. Push that stick more. Wait. Back to the center. Now the back pedal, just a little bit. Remember, shallow turns are going to require less back pressure because they're not as steep, and you don't have as much speed going in them typically. Uh-oh. What was that telling us?
I don't know.
Again, as you're going around, I'm looking for traffic. Well, you seem to do much better on this right turn this time. Let's go around one more time.
Okay.
And those people, those older people I took up, they were all the way up from Arlington, Virginia.
They drove?
Yeah, they stayed at a local bed and breakfast to get this flight in.
Came a long way.
Yeah.
Still hitting up there.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot out today, so I guess that's why.
Well, we had that front go through, all that bad weather went through, so we got some moisture that landed on the ground. The sun is at its hottest, time of year right now, so it's really baking the ground. A lot of the fields don't have any crops in them, so you get all that dirt that's drying up, and those darker colors re-emanate out that heat.
Yeah. I haven't seen anyone take off.
No, I see one glider there getting ready to go, possibly. Again, as you start going on to this side of the airport, we start getting towards Blairstown. That's where we start getting into the VOR traffic of Stillwater. So from this point, on, heading in this direction, we've got to be a little more vigilant. Now, I mean, you got to realize, Cameron, what's that?
There's
Oh yeah, probably right down there.
Right down there.
You got to realize, traffic in the VFR environment like this can be coming at us from any angle, any altitude, so that's why we are always moving our head. But if you know where the high concentrations are, well, then you got to do your due diligence to really make sure that you're paying mind to see and avoid. Traffic's heading away from the airport towards the reservoir. I don't see any other gliders. There wasn't much in the way of private activity. That was the only one guy that put together today.
Yeah.
Just so you know, off your nose, there's a lake with some green slime around it, looks like. The green, that's called White Lake.
Okay.
The town of Blairstown. This is 2 miles from the town to your airport. So you can learn the gauging of the distances. So you better be 600 feet over your pattern altitude when you're leaving the town if there's little or no wind to get back safely. Towns can notoriously have some lift over them. So if you're near a town, again, if you're getting a little lower, you got to make sure you got a place to land. But that's one of the areas that we look for lift. All those rooftops getting vacant in the sun. The cars parked in parking lots. A junkyard. Shopping malls. Those dark asphalt black parking lots absorb and re-radiate all that heat. So this is White Lake. There's a real narrow lake there, 2-part lake. That's called Palmskill, and to the left of that it's called Schwartzwood Lake. A little red building down here to your lower right, past this little part of the river. There's a red building with the brown roofs up there. That's Lena Lodge. That's like a celebrity rehab. People years ago used to go there and sell people there like cans of beer for $5 a can. Like, that's terrible. These people have an alcohol problem and you're profiting from them.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
Alright, another glider just took off. Let's take a little turn to our left here. We're going to kind of, again, we're down to 2,500 feet. Oh, getting a little friendlier. We're right. Feeling out the air. Airplane's going up. Again, continue to look for traffic. Good. Vary that airspeed. As it gets friendlier, we slow up. As it gets uglier, you speed up. Very important. Come on, baby. Again, as we get lower, we get a little closer to our airport just because we want to make sure there's no doubt that we can have a nice, safe landing. That tail plane. Oh, there they are.
Yeah, he's going towards the ridge.
Yep,
I think there's someone on top of the ridge there. I see a little dot right by him.
I see a little shiny dot. That might just be a window from like a house on the Poconos or something. A little shiny spot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's a glider going around, it'll kind of come and go. Getting a little friendlier for us. And you're 2,000 feet plus over our field. You're 1,000 feet more than your IP. The highway to the right side of the airport over there, where the big highway is by those fields, that's about a mile from our airport. Okay, and then the ridge where the pipe goes into the mountain, it's 3 miles. So you start to learn, you know, or you need to know and learn gauging of distances. Come on, Johnny.
Now, could you land there if you had to?
Where's that?
The field right in front of
Yes.
7?
Well, you would want to do those. You'd want to go towards the right side of the field. There's a green area there with all overgrowth straight off off that end there, and it looks like a teardrop.
Yeah.
That is actually all old cement that the airport manager dumped there, which is not a good thing. You wouldn't want to So you'd want to hug on an angle going towards the right side. You can see there's like a little landing patch out there.
Yeah.
That a guy comes over from Andover and practices landing there. Also, too, Cameron, when you land on an angle in a field versus a square field, if you go on the hypotenuse of the triangle or on an angle, that's taking a hypotenuse, that'll make the field a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Want to try maybe these fields over here a little bit to the right, those darker colored fields. So take a little look and kind of head over in that direction. And just being mindful your tow plane took that glider over towards the ridge. He may be coming back. We don't know whether he's circled right down or whether he's taking his time coming down. Looks like it's getting a little livelier. Anybody else anywhere?
Yeah, nothing to do. Oh, I see a thing right
Okay,
there. That's our tow
just got
plane.
off. Yep, good. That's nice that you recognize that. Some people, like, they'll release from behind the tow plane and we'll make the turn, but, oh, there's a plane over there. It's like, that's our yellow tow plane. We just, you know, you were just attached to him 3 seconds ago. We did a 90-degree turn and we saw him again. It's not, try a turn or two, see what happens?
Let's go to the left.
I was going to say right, but just so I could, yeah, let's go to the right.
Okay. All right.
I'm just kind of thinking of the wind coming off out of these fields.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but again, a lot of it's guessing. Oh,
Yeah.
just bubbled up right there.
Now we're hitting some lift.
Yeah. Now the reason, if you think about where the wind's coming from, it's kind of coming, oh, I'll tell you off our nose in just a second. Seems like it was coming right off our nose from about here. So if you look, there's our heating source. That's where the wind is coming from. You position yourself downwind of your heating source. If there's no wind, zero wind, Cameron, you fly right over your heating source, and the inlet's going to go straight up. Actually, just saw a hawk below us.
Oh, there's our tow plane right below us.
Lost that hawk. Do you feel that little hiccup there?
Yeah.
A lot of times I like to think that that's the edge of, again, being closer to the airport, you got to be really mindful.
Yeah, there's our glider right off.
Yes, and because he's on the horizon, that makes him right at our altitude. We're not going up, we're not going down, we're just kind of going up ever so slowly. That's a good thing. He's coming back towards this way. I see him down below us over on the trees. Get another glider, getting hooked up, getting ready to go. Good, lead with those speed. Good. Let's see, I lost sight of him coming back. There he is. Wow, he's pretty low. We're kind of like in a holding pattern here between 18 and 19. So I think I saw a plane take off, there's another guy getting ready to go, and we got him coming back well.
Oh, there's a glider coming, or an airplane coming right parallel with the runway.
That's the glider. Yeah, that was the guy that we watched get released. I just took the last fell.
That scared me a little bit.
Did it?
I thought he was coming towards us because like we were kind of head on with him.
Yeah. We got another one off our left wingtip out there a little bit in front of the wingtip going up. Now you got to be careful when you get down a little lower and being out this wide, because this is where the power traffic pattern is. They do downwind but stepped out from us. We're just a couple hundred feet higher than pattern altitude in where the power traffic is. Let's make a little turn to the left, trying to get a little closer towards our airport where we'll be less likely to be in the landing pattern of. Good, he's on his base leg. Base to final. Kind of holding on here. And we got to be careful because we're just about, pattern altitude. You got to watch out for. There's a tow plane just released about 11 o'clock, just above the horizon. He's on a short final. And we got the tow plane that's getting ready to go back in. And I don't know which way any of these guys are landing. We lost the tow plane. Let's make a little turn here to the left on 90 degrees. I can see a bird over there. Good, level out. Tow plane looks like he's going in for a long final. You see him there?
Yeah.
Now, as you get a little closer to the ground, you got to make sure you leave a little more extra airspeed in your thermaling. Instead of 45, you're more closer to 50. Alright, so we got to think about it. We're only 900 feet. Let's make a 90 to the left and do our landing checklist. Undercarriage, fixed and welded. Spoilers. Give them a quick shot. Good. Okay, trim, back forward. Now we're not going to make it over to the lake by that intersection and be at 800 feet AGR. We're already at 1200 MSL. Get that airspeed up to 55. We're going to walk and do this together. Left hand on the spoiler. Okay, now let's do a turn to the right. We're going to go in on runway 7.
Okay.
So look right, nice and steep, 55 miles an hour. Make that turn happen, 55. Good. Alright, and then kind of level out. We're going to go right along the crest of this ridge here. And let's go to about half spoiler. Good, 55. Keep that airspeed up. Good. Keep that airspeed up. A little more parallel with the field. There we go. That's better. Now, let's look to our right. You see anybody coming straight or to our right? Nope.
Nope.
Nobody's coming at us. Let's do our base. 55 with the right hand. Left hand is whether you want to go down more or go further. 55 with the right. I don't need to see that left. Good. Level out on base. Level. 55. 55. Good. Alright, now let's do our final. But you're only going to do about an 80-degree turn. And we're going to put away the board just a little bit. And we want to get up the field. And we never aim at our tow plane or that other glider. Alright? We're going to land to the left of them, but to the right of the main runway. Let's close our spoilers a whole bunch so we get up there. Just leave them shut. Don't let us drift into the trees. You can leave your hand on it. 55. Get your airspeed back. You're giving away controllability by slowing down. Unlock your spoilers. Good. 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 Alright, now go to about a quarter spoiler. Good. Hold it off. Flare. Ease back on the stick a little bit, a little bit. Let me do this along with you so we don't smash into that taxiway. myself, little right runner, keeping those wings level. And you notice how I finished up? We didn't use any brake. We just let the skid come and help us get to a stop. And where were we? We're off to the side.